Let's get the morbid fetish idea out of here. Um, well, you don't like me calling it morbid? What did Jesus' morbid fetish accomplish? To that, all you had, like, instead of answering that question, you just say, oh, let's get the morbid fetish idea out of here. Okay, there. So you can't deny that it's a morbid fetish. Is brutal beating and crucifixion. I just explained it wasn't death that anyone obsessed over. I didn't say anything about that. I asked you what it accomplished, and obviously you can't answer that either. It was what it wait. Let's get the morbid fetish idea out of here. I just explained it wasn't the death that anyone obsesses over. It was I just asked you what it accomplished. And instead of answering the question, you said, get the morbid fetish thing out of the way, idea out of here. And then you just say it was what it accomplished. You're a fucking moron. God has wrath because he's just. That doesn't make any fucking sense, okay? Why do you worship a wrathful God, which you claim, how is that even just? Or define just? Explain to me what justification is. And cannot let wrongdoing go without payment. Okay, how can Christianity be any kind of source of morality? How can morality come out of Christianity while the forbidden fruit contained knowledge of good and evil, which would be morality? And you're talking about what, wrongdoing? No. God is concerned about people who have faith in him and worship him, not how we behave. That has nothing to do with anything. I don't even know what you're talking about. What wrongdoing? I don't know. And as for that, like I was talking about payment. How does payment solve the problem? I mean, people do wrong and they pay a price. What is that? That's only paying a price for it. What? Well, Jesus Christ is only about forgiveness, not about solving any kind of problem, not about paying for any kind of bad behavior. Even though God behaves very badly according to the Bible, but oh wait, yeah, that's right too. He's allowed to do whatever he wants because he's God. However that makes any fucking sense. I'm sure you'd share the same sentiment if someone you loved had suffered harm from another person. I'm not a god. I'm not a being that people believe who wrote a book, who inspired my sinful creation to write a book about how perfect and powerful I am, and that I created life for the sole purpose of worshiping and having faith in me and obeying me, or I burn them or cast them into hell for eternal torture. I'm also not the one who made people mortal and vulnerable to each other and to the planet itself, along to sickness. I'm sure you'd share the same sentiment of someone. No, I don't expect people to love me or I torture them forever. People suffering harm has nothing to do with worshiping God or having faith in God or obeying God. You don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know how this morality ties into that, or if someone you loved had suffered. Well, let's put it this way: could anyone ever be harmed if God made us all immortal and invincible? No, right? So what is this even about? Aside from Christianity only being about getting forgiveness for sin, which we inherited because two people, not two guys, what the fuck? Well, God does the same. What do you mean he does the same? He does the same what? Okay, he demands that a payment be made for our wrongdoing. No, he doesn't. He demands that we seek Jesus Christ for, for forgiveness by accepting him into our heart, however you guys usually put it. That's all he's concerned with. And having a relationship with him has nothing to do with harming each other, has nothing to do with morality, has nothing to do with making a payment or paying the price for any kind of wrongdoing. You don't even understand your own religion. You're just using you're just using these non-talking points to defend it. That's all you're doing here. And he's gracious enough that he sent Jesus to take the punishment. Okay, well, how is that us paying the price? He paid the price in that case, not us. I don't even, what? If he paid the price by taking the beating and being crucified, then it doesn't matter how we behave toward each other. The price has already been paid. The rest is accepting Jesus and getting into heaven to be in a relationship with God, why ever you guys would even fucking want that. It's all about obedience and worship to God, or repenting sin, not how we behave, or not what we do to each other. He sent Jesus to take the punishment for it. Sin can't happen because Adam and Eve were both created by God, who you believe to be both perfect and powerful, and incapable of evil, only capable of good. Which means both Adam and Eve couldn't have chosen against God, while God couldn't have provided any kind of option for them to go against him. Not free will. So, and also, I mean, yeah, fuck. So that if we trust in that, he won't have to be punished. We won't. What? You just contradicted yourself. You spent all your time talking here about paying God for our wrongdoings for each other, to each other, against each other. And then you said he's punished for our sins. Which is it? Did Jesus take the payment or pay the price, or are we? What? Ridiculous.